Okay, so I had a plan. I was going to talk about something in particular, but I'm not in that space. I found myself in another space. Um, I got to go with they call it authenticity. So I can't talk about something that I'm not really into at the moment in my mind. It's something I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about branding and image, and I was going to go into that, but I'm not. Maybe I'll do that another day. So. I'm in a bit of shock. I'm a bit saddened. I'm on Facebook yesterday around midday, and I see somebody's name that I recognize. Uh, sudden tragic death, or passing, and I look. Do I know this? I think I know this person, but you can't be sure. It's not such a uncommon name. I click on the name. I look at mutual friends. I look at this. This is him. So this 46-year-old man, I didn't know him that well. He's a close friend of a friend of mine. But his wife's family, my family were very close with him in the 70s and the 80s. We used to in fact, her grandfather, my father went to school with her grandfather, so there was a close connection. So I was quite shocked, but I thought So it turns out when I see died tragically, or I thought to myself, how did he die? And turns out he committed suicide. He shot himself. And I thought, oh my God, he shot himself. And I was just thinking, and it made me it hit me personally, because I've gone through moments in my life many times where I just was in the depth of depression. And maybe, truth be told, maybe if I owned a gun, I don't own a gun, I've never owned a gun, I mustn't own a gun, I'm clumsy. If I owned a gun, I would shoot somebody by mistake, it would be a disaster. I'd lose the gun. Anyway, it's a good thing I don't have a gun, because the thing is with a gun, if you are suicidal, it's a sudden, quick, easy thing. You don't think of consequences. You don't think of your children, your wife, your family. What are you going to leave behind? Because it's quick. If you kill yourself another way, however, it takes more time, more planning, it's more premeditated. You get a chance to think it over. You tend maybe to calm down. In fact, 10 minutes later, half an hour later, the next day, you may not be that depressed. You're feeling a lot better. And I've had that. I've been really depressed, feeling terrible. And literally half an hour later, I'm feeling okay. So it made me feel like a bit ill. So I don't know the details. I didn't ask the details. I'm trying to be a better person. I don't want to ask questions. Where did it happen? When did it happen? I didn't do that. And the good thing is, I think I'm getting better, because I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to ask. I immediately knew not to. Before, it would have been an effort. Control yourself. I would have had to attach shock electrodes to my testicles to don't Damon, to stop me behaving like Damon. You need to act like a normal person. So I left it alone. Yes. So, although I didn't know, I only met the man a few times, bumped into him at a party in November. It just feels weird. It feels weird when somebody does something like this. And, somebody commented, okay, it was my wife. She said it's the worst selfish thing to do, but perhaps theoretically on paper, yes, but nobody understands. You can't understand that kind of depression unless you've actually been in that depression. And it's a disease. It's a disease. And unfortunately, too much taboo around going to a psychiatrist, taking antidepressant medication, too much of a taboo. Look, it's improved a lot. More and more people are taking medication, but it's still. I asked this friend of mine who was quite close to him, did he have a history of depression? Yeah. He looked at me like I was asking him for the Holy Grail, like I was asking him an unusual question. It's like he just looked at me like, huh? Oh no, like how can I ask such a question? Who? It's quite something. Yeah. And so something else in my life that might interest you. Just an update on my toe. So I'm being admitted today. I'm going to have an MRI of my right toe, my right foot. And I don't know what they're going to do. But it's good news on the one hand. I'm being seen to. Whoa. So I went to my podiatrist 2 Thursdays ago. I had the X-ray. X-ray report, radiology report came back the next day. Phoned the orthopedic surgeon on that Friday. Was it? No, 2 Mondays ago. 2 Mondays ago. Only got. Long story. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I'm being admitted today. So I said to my GP, I said, this is unbelievable. I mean, I could be losing my foot for all we know. Who knows? I mean, I said to her, what are people in the public, people who go to public hospitals, like, what happens with them? You don't want to know. That's what she said. You don't want to know. Actually, I do. Well, maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to know. Maybe it's best that you don't know. I was watching a little bit of Al Jazeera last night and CNN and a tiny bit of BBC and what's going on in Gaza and my daughter was doing some homework with my wife on the bed, and the sound was off. But we just had the TV on. And my daughter said, please switch it off. It's making me sad. Making her sad. It should make everybody sad. And when I think of this man, this 46-year-old man, I look at the family, I look at how it's affected me, and I'm not really that connected. And I'm like feeling bad. Imagine, 1,300 Israelis on October the 7th. That example I'm giving happened 1,300 times to those Jews in Israel on October the 7th. And now it's happened over 28,000 times in Gaza. And the Israelis are relentless. We must kill Hamas. We must get rid of Hamas. You're never going to get rid of Hamas. How many times, Mr. Netanyahu, how many more times I've got to tell you? You're not going to get rid of Hamas. You're not going to get rid of Hamas. Anyway, God willing, I'll be back soon. Wish me luck with my toe. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it all about me. See how I turned a funeral, a death, about me. Not perfect. I'm trying to get there eventually.